Sarah Matthews first noticed something was wrong when she developed the old Polaroid photos her grandmother had left behind. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon in her small Portland apartment, sunlight streaming through dusty blinds as she sorted through a cardboard box of family memories. At first, the photos seemed ordinary, faded snapshots of family gatherings, old farmhouses, and distant relatives. But then she saw it. In the corner of a photograph taken in 1967, a figure stood behind the frame, partially hidden but clearly watching. The facial features were blurred, but something about that silhouette gave her goosebumps. When Sarah's phone rang, she almost dropped the picture. It was her Aunt Linda calling from an old farmhouse in rural Oregon. "Have you looked at those pictures yet?" Linda's voice sounded strange, detached and strained. "I'm looking through them now," Sarah replied, running her fingers along the edge of a mysterious photograph. "Destroy them," Linda whispered. "Burn them all." The line broke, sudden and sharp. Later, Sarah learned the horrifying truth. In 1967, her great-grandfather had bought farmland where several unexplained disappearances had occurred. Local tribes had warned him about the land, about an evil spirit that preyed on families, passed down through generations of photographs. Each mysterious disappearance followed the same chilling pattern. Someone would find an old photograph with a blurred figure. A few weeks later, family members would begin to vanish, leaving no trace. Local sheriff's reports from that era were rife with unfinished investigations, missing persons cases that seemed to dissolve into thin air. Her grandmother knew this. That's why she had hidden the photos, hoping to break the cycle. But by keeping them, she was unknowingly sustaining the curse. Strange phenomena began to haunt Sarah. Whispers in empty rooms, shadows moving against natural light, photographs where her own image seemed slightly, disturbingly different. One night she woke up and found a Polaroid on her nightstand, a photograph she had never taken. In it, she saw herself asleep, but the blurry figure from the 1967 photograph now stood closer, its elongated fingers almost touching her face. Researching the land's history, Sarah uncovered a tragic story. In the late 1800s, settlers had violently displaced the Native American population, desecrating sacred burial sites. A tribal elder had cursed the land, promising that the settlers' descendants would never know peace. Her bloodline became part of that ancient, vengeful curse. The disappearances began swiftly. First, her Aunt Linda vanished. Her car found abandoned on a remote mountain road. Then her cousin Michael disappeared. Simply gone, with no explanation. The local authorities remained baffled. Sarah knew she had to end this. Following an old ritual described in tribal archives, she gathered the photographs, her family's genealogical records, and traveled to the original farmland. As the sun set, casting long, ominous shadows across the forgotten fields, she built a fire. The photographs curled and blackened, releasing a sound that was almost, but not quite, a human scream. For a moment, everything went silent. Then she saw it, the blurred figure, now crisp and terrifyingly clear, standing just beyond the firelight. Its eyes, if you could call them eyes, locked onto hers. Sarah understood then. The curse wasn't about destruction, it was about recognition, about being seen. She didn't scream, she didn't run. The next morning, another Polaroid was found, a photo of an empty field, and in the corner, almost imperceptible, a blurred figure watching. Days later, a local paranormal investigator named Jack Reynolds discovered Sarah's research. Her meticulous notes and burned photographs suggested something far more sinister than a simple family curse. He traced the land's history back to a forgotten massacre, where settlers had not only displaced Native Americans, but performed ritualistic killings that went undocumented. The blurred figure was more than a spirit, it was a collective trauma a manifestation of unresolved violence. Jack realized the curse wasn't about Sarah's family. It was about the land itself, a living memory that consumed those who dared to uncover its secrets. When he returned to the farmland, Sarah was gone. No trace remained except her journal and a single perfectly preserved Polaroid. In the photograph, multiple blurred figures stood together, their forms slowly becoming more defined, as if they were waiting, gathering strength with each disappeared soul. The last page of Sarah's journal contained only one chilling sentence: "We are always watching. We are never truly gone." A few weeks later, Jack himself disappeared. The local sheriff found his car abandoned, a new Polaroid on the passenger seat, showing nothing but an empty field. And in the far corner, almost invisible, a hint of a blurred figure watching. The cycle continues forever.